No one could have known it then, but when Daytona International Speedway opened in 1959, it marked the beginning of a new era in American motorsport. As a replacement for the old beach course a few miles to the east, the opening of the high-bank 2.5-mile Florida Tri-Oval represented the leading edge of a wave of construction of big paved speed palaces. Before Daytona, Indianapolis was the only American oval track longer than 1.25 miles, and most racing took place on dirt ovals a mile or less in length. From the very first Daytona 500, won by Lee Petty in a three-way photo finish, those high banks provided a favorable venue for wide-open stock car racing. Daytona kicked off the growth of NASCAR as we know it today. Daytona was also the first multi-use facility with a 3.56-mile road circuit incorporating the infield and most of the oval, to host not only the Daytona 500 but also the Rolex 24 season kickoff for the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series. The AMA's signature Daytona 200 during Bike Week, the WKA Daytona Kart Week between Christmas and New Year's, and a host of driving schools, clubs, and other events. Daytona's busy and diverse schedule confirms the track's motto, the world's center of racing. Tonight, the Lonestar Racing GT3 Series Round 13 finale. 90 minutes here at Daytona, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, joined in the broadcast booth by none other than Zach Millett. How you doing, Zach?
Hey, Steve. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Looking forward to this one. Longer race. We've been 60-minute sprint races all season long. Here we are at the finale. Let's tack on an extra 30. You might as well. You know, it's the old baseball saying, let's play two. Well, let's add 30 minutes to this race.
Yeah, longer the better. Phrasing indeed. Can't wait for this one, man.
Well, we're into qualifying here, 3 minutes into this point. Still on trackside, Terry Crouch was certainly the fastest in the practice session. Not the whole practice session, though. Had to take some time, work on some things, and was able to put it back top of the board. Nobody clocking in an official time as of yet. Got to give an attaboy to Kevin Blue and the LSR guys for really working hard this week to get a big field for tonight's race here at Daytona. Weren't able to get the broadcast in last week just because we had a real short showing of drivers, but here we are. We've got 20 plus here tonight. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, great job by those guys. There's a ton of people in this. This should be awesome.
First lap for Terry Crouch, a 44.20. Then it's Sean Roberts, James Vance, all in the 44s. In fact, let's take a look at it. We saw early on in the practice session, times were very, very tight, especially within the top 10, top 15. If you look at down the line here, a 43.9 out of Terry Crouch, and then we got 16 100ths of a second behind him in Dave Seats, then James Vance, less than a tenth. We get to a tenth of a second behind in P4, and we can go all the way down into the 10th spot, and you're just about half a second off the top time. So qualifying, which we're in right now, should be interesting to see where these guys lock their times in. Again, tonight we are here at Daytona. Let's take a look at the weather so far. 64 degrees, kind of chilly here in Daytona. 21% humidity, partly cloudy skies. 5-mile-per-hour breeze, and the track temperature nice and cool, 66 degrees. So that should make for some quick times here in the session. Top time now, Dave Seats putting down a 1:43.973. Dave Seats in the Mercedes.
Wow, it's a heck of a lap.
That's a real good lap. Ten-minute session here. We're just past the halfway point of it. Curious to see how long these guys stay out. Got Kevin Blue here. He wants to jump up in here in this session and have a chat with us. He's not going to qualify, so he's available for comment. Kevin Blue, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You with us?
Hey, Steve and Zach. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. Just excited to get this one underway here. 4 minutes shy of qualifying completion, but I guess you got to thank some partners that helped you get this thing done here this season.
Yeah, man. We've had some really, really good drivers in this league, some really respectful racing, and first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody who has showed up and raced with us this season so far. We've had a real good core group of guys, around 20 or so, that have showed up to almost every race, and I just want to thank those guys. And you know, I got a little giveaway to do for them either today or tomorrow. We're going to give away either a butt kicker game or two, or $200 iRacing credit if they live out of the country, to any of the guys who attended 8 races this season. So that's a little special thing we're doing with some of the extra sponsorship and entry money. I just want to give it back to the guys who stuck with us all season. So I just want to thank them, man.
Very cool way to go about it. It's also a nice little incentive. I don't know if you started the season with that intent or not, but that's a great way to keep guys showing up every week.
You know, I told them in the beginning of the season, you know, we'll do a giveaway at some point. I just didn't know what the criteria would be, but I figured just put everyone's name in the hat who's at least attended around 2/3, 3/4 of the races. I mean, I understand people can't attend all the races just because life happens, and this is a thing we do for fun. So
well, hell, I'm the broadcaster, and I didn't even make all the races. So.
Hey, that's all right, man. That's all right. But yeah, man. Besides that, man, we did have a few sponsors this season. The biggest sponsor we had, and I know he's been a huge part of this and really helped us with the broadcasting cost and any other costs associated with this. WJM Motorsports, Bill Mulfield, man. Bill was racing with us earlier in the season. I don't know if life just got in the way for him or what, but he came through huge with the title sponsorship and league sponsorship this season, and I just wanted to give him a shout out. And if you guys keep an eye out for WJM Motorsports on iRacing, man, they're making some moves. They're getting some good guys on their team, and yeah, man, Bill is just a great guy. He's actually from my hometown in Knoxville, Tennessee, so small world. But yeah, I just want to give him a shout out and a big thanks to him and Garza Law Firm for throwing us a little bit of change this season.
Certainly do see those WJM guys all over social media just about every time I jump on. So he's not wasting any time or efforts. He's getting everybody up and running.
Absolutely. And we had a couple race sponsors too. I just want to give a shout out to Justin Johnson with Lonestar Racing. He's our team, kind of our team leader over there. He started Lonestar Racing, and him and his Twitch stream, LSR Gaming X, they sponsored the Spa race. And also Rich DPC, Rich Delmazio, he came through and sponsored the first race of the season for us. Oh, okay, I got you. Anyway, man, I just wanted to come in and thank those guys before the race started.
Well, happy to have you up here, Kevin. Again, thank you for having us broadcast this season. Certainly looking forward to all that's to come in the future here with various other leagues that you've got set up here in the road racing aspect of things. So we're certainly excited for that.
Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I'll jump on here in a little bit, too.
All right, Kevin. Sounds good. Just if I don't see you in the green room, just message us somewhere. We'll find you.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. It's Kevin Blue, your league admin here. He's going to run the race tonight. Not qualifying, so he'll be starting out at the back. But at the end of the day, he's just here to have a good time, and that's just kind of what this is all about as we watch Brandon Cocker here. Running third in qualifying as the 10-minute mark is eclipsed. He's got to finish this lap here. I think he'll have time to do that. We'll see if he can knock Ryan Zinn or Dave Seats out of position here, get himself on the front row here. We've got three guys under the minute 44 mark. Terry Crouch, 3,000ths shy of it. So, Zach, let's ask you. I know you and I ran the Daytona 24 official iRacing event here earlier on in the year. You know, the big question, and everybody has to try and figure it out, it's the bus stop on the backstretch. What did you find was the best method to get in and through there quickly while maintaining exit speed?
Man, it was definitely the hardest part of the track. Getting your downshifts right, that was kind of the key for me. If I could find the right spot in the gear to get through there, that certainly helped my exit. When I started practicing, Terry actually had a lot of advice for me. He definitely helped me out a lot in that section.
Well, Terry Crouch, of course, one of the drivers that ran this with us. Looks like we're just about done here as far as qualifying is concerned. A couple drivers still on track finishing up. I think everybody's at least in the pits, though, so we should be finished here with qualifying officially, and we're going to look at our starting grid here in just a moment. For those just tuning in here, tonight's race will be broadcast. At most, you will get the HBR TV side-by-side commercial break. There will be no full-on commercial breaks during live action here tonight. You will get possibly one at the end, but that'll be post-race, so you won't miss a single lap here at Daytona tonight. I think they give him about 3 full minutes post the 10-minute clock to finish up any existing lap.
Yeah, I think it's only the one car on pit road there that hasn't readied up yet.
Well, I think Lee
just kidding.
Tucker is actually on the track, but now the clock finally shuts him down, it looks like. That or he just completely lost connection. Nope, we're going to the grid.
There we go.
So, with that, let's take a look at tonight's starting grid for round 13 of the Lonestar Racing GT3 Series from Daytona. On the pole position with a lap time of 1 minute 43.854 seconds, it's Brian Zinn. Outside front row with Limitless Motorsports, it's the Mercedes, the number 14 of Dave Seats. Row number 2, Brandon Cocker out of Grid Engineering. He'll start in the 3rd position. Terry Crouch outside. Row number 2, TLDR SimSport number 59. Row 3, Kevin Burrows, another TLDR SimSport driver. Kevin Burrows starts 5th. Sean Roberts in the Porsche, the number 66, starts P6. Randall White, the number 27, another TLDR SimSport driver, starts in the 7th spot. James Vance out of Canada, he'll start position number 8. Andrew Locke, teammate of James Vance, they'll start in the 9th position here tonight with David Tamira rounding out the top 10. 11th goes to Lee O. Tucker. 12th, Sean Petchin coming over from GLSR, Great Lakes Sim Racing. 13th starter is going to be Brandon Waters. 14th, Moses Choi. Mike Piazza is going to start 15th. Johnny Alford, P16. Chris Pio, 17th. Daniel Clark will roll off in the 18th spot with Harley Bathurst starting 19th. Andy Sizemore with Plus EV Racing. He's also coming over to turn some laps in this road racing series. Good to see him here as well. Alfie Sharon starting 21st in the Mercedes. Chris Gomes starting 22nd. Robert Henry, the number 10, will start 23rd. Brandon Domain, I got it right, start 24th. Kevin Blue did not qualify, starting 25th. Dave Coburn, Alexis Mandrakia rounding out the field, 26th and 27th. That's your starting grid here from Daytona, the Lonestar Racing GT3 Series. Drivers starting to grid up, maybe even starting to roll. They are indeed down the backstretch. Shortened parade lap, but will be under the green flag as they get to the stripe here, this time by. Chris Goins in the stream chat says, I'm just here till I crash. I have no laps on track.
Perfect.
It's not ideal, but hopefully Chris can continue on here.
Yeah, never know. Sometimes it works out better for you if you don't practice. Look at Neil Quick.
Yeah, right? Might actually win some races if he practiced.
Yeah.
Neil, we kid because we care.
It's nice to see a couple Mercedes up in the front row.
You know, there's a few more. Usually it's just David Seats, maybe one more, but let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Mercedes in the race here tonight. Waiting for the green flag here. Pace car is off. Green flag in the air. Down into the International Horseshoe. Ryan's in with an early lead here, almost a half second back to David Seats. Going at it. Vance down low in the BMW. Now clears Brandon Cocker. Cocker running that grid engineering paint scheme. Cocker right up the tailpipe of James Vance. A little bit of a bump draft there.
Looks like they're going to try to work together here. Steve, we've seen that work before in the past, but boy, we've also seen it not work and somebody get turned coming to the start-finish line. It's really tricky balance to do it correctly.
It really is, and you look at guys like James Vance and Brandon Cocker. Vance, of course, coming in, he's got some real-life IMSA experience. Brandon Cocker been on the sim a long time. Very quick race driver out there. These guys also very familiar with each other, so they're accustomed to racing with each other. They know what each other is going to do, very similar to Vance and Andrew Locke. All three of those guys do a lot of racing together here on the sim, so not surprising they're able to get that done without a problem, but it almost opened the door for Terry Crouch because I think Brandon might have been a little apprehensive down into turn 1 Got on the brakes a little bit sooner than Vance and really opened the door for the 59. Was lucky enough to keep Terry behind him, but how long is that going to last?
Probably a matter of time with how fast Terry is. We'll see, though.
See, Brandon pulls right back up. Another big bump out of 2. That's out of 4, actually, I believe. No, are they down the backstretch? No, I lost him. Nope, this is on a 4.
Coming off 4.
But yeah, you see it again. Brandon checking up a bit. Doesn't want to get into James down into the braking zone at turn 1. He's got to be a little bit cautious there. Got things back out in front. The lead has shrunk for Brian Zinn. It's just about 2.5 tenths. David Seats closing in. Mercedes leading the field here, top 2. Then it's a bunch of BMWs back to 8th. Then 2 Porsches, 9th and 10th. Another BMW at 11th, Dave Tamura. And then, well, kind of variety pack from 12th on back. And Seats is right there. It's not even a car length, really, between the 2 cars. Zinn did get a better exit out of the bus stop.
Yeah, and look at these lap times, Steve. They're pretty much running the same exact lap.
Yeah, I mean, Zinn ran a 44.33 to a 34. Sean Roberts in trouble, though. Whoa, big wreck here in NASCAR 1 and 2. Or is this? No, this is 3 and 4. What has happened here? Sean Roberts involved in this. There was, I believe, another Ferrari in it as well. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe a Lambo, because I don't see another Ferrari in here, but let's get a look at it.
There might be 5 cars or so into this thing.
Sean Roberts. Okay, yeah, this is just, we'll back it up a little bit further here, because there was definitely an issue getting through the bus stop. Oh, just catches the curb the wrong way. Spins it around, but he didn't lock it down. Oh, big time impact. That would have been Dave Tamura. Still don't know who else that was. Leo Tucker, maybe? Yes, indeed. He takes a big impact into the outside wall. Chris Pyle getting by on the bottom.
That's such a hard spot to avoid anything. I mean, you're coming out of that bus stop with such speed. Your car's on the edge of spinning out already. That's tough. Look at this hit. Oh.
Let's back it up here. Again, I think that was David Tamura, which is unfortunate. Dave was within the top 10 in points.
Yeah, and he's always fast.
Riding on board. We'll go full speed here, so be ready for it.
Oh. What do you do?
And what had happened is he saw Sean Roberts start to come back up the racetrack there. He anticipated that he was going to continue up the racetrack. So Tamura dropped down low, essentially turning right into the Porsche, but if he kept his momentum up, he would have been able to miss him. It didn't work out. He guessed wrong, unfortunately, for Dave Tamura. Battle for the lead here down to turn 1. Dave Seats took a peek to the outside. Nothing available there. Interesting point of view here tonight, though, as far as this race being a 90-minute sprint versus the 60-minute sprint. They did not change any of the fuel percentages, so you're still going to see a few pit stops here tonight. It's been 2 every week during the 1-hour races. I would expect 3 here with the extra half an hour. that's going to certainly throw in a curveball's worth of strategy to work with. Terry Crouch still working on the back of Brandon Cocker for the 4th position. Terry's a smart driver behind the wheel of that machine. He's been very fast. He really doesn't need to push here tonight. He just needs a solid night to lock up this championship. He's got a pretty significant lead. In fact, let's take a look at that. The current point standings coming into tonight. Terry Crouch, of course, your race championship leader with 1473 in the point column. Kevin Burrows, a teammate. Same with Randall White. Looks like a TLDR SimSport top 3 getting ready to happen here, but we've got plenty of race left. But Terry really just has to have a solid finish tonight. He does not need to win this. I think he's just going to be smart about it. He might play some pit strategy to try and work his way up into some higher positions, but I don't see him being so aggressive tonight. He doesn't need to. Group of guys here battling for position. They all seem to like that BMW, though.
Yeah, they do. I think all these guys know how long this race is compared to the other races, and they have nothing but time. So they're just going to ride it out and see who makes a mistake and who doesn't.
And that's really smart for really everybody involved. It being an extra half an hour, it doesn't seem like much. Oh, yeah, it's only 30 extra minutes. But if you ruin your race now, I mean, you're going to spend the next hour plus trying to make up ground. Just run this thing for maybe the first half hour, see what everybody's got, see who's fast, who isn't, who's dangerous, who isn't, and then start to push about halfway. It still gives you 45 minutes if you wait till halfway to make up some ground and really work your way towards the front. We got Elsbor 67, I think that's there, Elsabor 67, I don't know. Says, let's go, Terry. I would have been racing today, but I'm at work. Sorry we missed you, but keep in touch with Terry on this. There's plenty of road racing action to come this season. Lots of options, too, with a new series that's going to be unfolding here in the very near future. I don't know if James Vance is really getting pressured from Brandon Cocker or if he's just trying to stay close to stay in that slipstream. Terry Crouch all over Brandon Cocker, though. Cocker's got to give him the outside here, take it inside an early entry. Shallow entry for Cocker, a little loose on exit.
Yeah, Terry might be ready to go up at least one more spot here.
Thought they were going to make contact there, awfully close. Remember, Terry Crouch has got a teammate behind him as well, and Kevin Burrows, but behind Burrows is Andrew Locke. If you get Locke, Cocker, and Vance together, that could be dangerous for the rest of the field. These guys working together, of course, I'm sure they're all in a voice channel somewhere talking about strategy. Seems that the last third of the lap is the best place for Cocker as he puts some distance between himself and Terry Crouch. Check out Alfie Charon running back in the 15th spot. He's up 6 positions. Remember, he started 21st here tonight. Alfie sporting the HBR TV colors tonight.
I might be a little biased here, Steve, but boy, I like the look of that car.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp. Unfortunately, Alfie's name is not above the door. This is actually the same car that myself, Zach, Terry Crouch, Brett Guzik, and Kevin Burrows all ran in the Daytona 24 this year. But Alfie wanted to support HBR TV, so we gave him a paint scheme. So here, run this.
Yep, it treated us well, so hopefully it does the same for him. And so far, so good.
And it's the first time he's driven this car, so he's already having a decent night, up 6 positions. Alfie,
That's the thing about Alfie.
Pretty clean
He
driver.
can jump in anything.
Yeah,
he can jump in anything and just go. It's amazing to watch him just jump in something. You know, he'll go from a next-gen car to one of these to a late model, and he'll be fast everywhere he goes. It's crazy.
Really, what makes him a decent driver to begin with is it's kind of that Kyle Larson mentality. Drive anything and everything you can. And I don't know, it's something that even my dad taught me growing up, learning how to drive just a car to begin with. It's like, get in everything you can. Drive a little tiny Cavalier, get into a pickup truck, a camper, an RV, I don't care, whatever it is you're driving, the more types of vehicles that you can drive, the more comfortable you're going to be driving, the better you'll be at it. And I can honestly relate to it. It's 100% the truth, even in racing. You know, going between a NASCAR truck over to a GT3 to an open wheel car, they all have different idiosyncrasies and they're all their own disciplines. Once in a while, you find little pieces of each that can be applied to the other. So Alfie's up another spot, takes the position away from Daniel Clark. Daniel had a couple of corners that didn't go quite his way. Terry Crouch in the pits. So is teammate Kevin Burrows and Randall White. So you can tell these guys are all on the same strategy. 14 and a half minutes in, lap 9. They're already on pit road.
This is interesting.
I've said it a bunch.
Doing it.
I've said it a bunch with road racing. It's if you're the first one to pit last or the last one to pit first, I can't even remember it, but that's kind of the strategy here with road racing. It's complete opposite of what you would do with a NASCAR or an oval style race. You kind of work the race pit stop wise. You work it backwards. You kind of look at that final lap based on time here because it's timed 90 minutes, and you plan your pit stops accordingly so that you basically run out of fuel as you cross the line. You want to be really light on fuel at the end of the race so that you can push hard, have your quick lap times. It's just kind of how they do it here at road racing.
And the thing is, too, Steve, is if Terry was getting held up there the last few laps, I mean, this is perfect for him. Come down pit road, come out, clear track ahead of him. He can set his own pace and be faster than he was. You know, he could be making up time here this entire session.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I don't know that he was necessarily being held up by James Vance and Brandon Cocker. Again, both of those guys usually pretty quick. We did watch a pretty good battle between those guys. Not so much Cocker because he wasn't here, but Terry Crouch and James Vance last week at Sebring. It wasn't televised, but we still got to watch it. They have pace. Now, we don't know. Maybe Terry was held up, but in this case, he's further back in the pack. He's got some breathing air out in front of him. Yes, he might have to pass some slower cars, but he can get around them relatively quickly and continue on. So, Zach, you make a great point. That's just a good way to undercut the rest of the field, so to speak, and make up some good lap time now, especially after that pit stop. Might want to note, too, that looks like I didn't pay that close attention to it, and shame on me for that, but 13-second stop, to me, that's fuel only, I believe. We've got Haley in the stream chat saying, "Hi, Steve and everyone. Happy race day, and please hit that thumbs up." I don't know how I forget this every race, but usually Haley jumps in and reminds me to tell everybody, please, if you're watching tonight's broadcast, go ahead and smash that like button. It absolutely helps the channel and will furthermore help the league. And it's free for you to do. You don't have to pledge stars or pay for any of that. Just hit the like button. Call it even.
It's a pretty good deal.
It's a really good deal. It's like pay-per-view, but the league pays for it, and you get to watch it.
Fast.
Very interesting, though. We talked about Terry being able to pass nice and easy here. He's having a little bit of trouble with Chris Pyle here in the Ford. Back onto the NASCAR oval, down NASCAR 1 and 2. Now, Chris is certainly going to try and hold up Terry Crouch here because this is a battle for position, 13th to be specific. Looks like Daniel Clark in the pits. Terry with the slipstream, going to take a look to the outside, but the power of that Ford on the bottom. With the brakes of the BMW on the top, look at that.
Incredible pass.
Around the outside goes Terry Crouch. Picks up P13. Big shout out to Kevin Blue. He's up 13 spots in that BMW. The 12th position. Next on his hit list here, Brandon Waters, who's in his own battle with Alfie Charon. Looks like he's to the inside. Alfie trying to battle back out around, but it might even open the door for Kevin Blue here. Kevin Blue's going to pull in behind this Mercedes and go, I thought Singer was in the booth. Horsepower in that Mercedes just pulling away from the BMW down the backstretch. 3-4 car lengths between himself and Kevin Blue. Meanwhile, the leaders have hit pit lane all the way back to P9, if not more. Brian Zinn, David Seitz, Brandon Cocker, you see them all there in a row. Brandon Cocker still on the pit lane, though. Is he taking tires or just a ton of fuel? Much longer stop for Cocker, though. Brandon Seitz was about the same as 1740. Really, all these guys, 1792. Cocker must just got there a little bit later. Everybody else down pit lane. Lock exiting here, P8. Sean Petchin in the Porsche. Remember, Sean came over from the Great Lakes Sim Racing League. Black Horizon Truck Series just wrapping up their season last week. Petchin, one of the admins over there. Checking out Andy Sizemore in the Lamborghini, number 25. Sizemore coming over from the Numb Thumbs Racing League, participating over in their truck series. Was having a solid run at Watkins Glen just a couple of weeks ago with a late issue exiting turn one, kind of ruined his day. Running currently 24th. He's lost about 4 spots since the start of tonight's race. One notable, Alexis Mondrakia, 27th place machine, did not take the green flag here tonight. Still out front, the battle for the lead. Brian Zinn still with it. He's been out front all night long, but Dave Seitz certainly not giving up. He's been all over the rear diffuser of Brian Zinn. And look who's running in P3, Zach.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Strategy, strategy, strategy. 13.2 second stop. So in that cycle, he picked up about 5 seconds. Well, 22 minutes in here. First round of pit stops complete. We're going to jump out, go HBR TV side by side. You won't miss a single lap. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, 26.5 minutes complete of 90. Brian Zinn still your race leader, but certainly has his hands full with Dave Seats knocking on the door, making a move to the outside. Just as our cameras change up, we'll go back to that. Gets alongside. He is there. Who's going to outbrake who down into turn one? Crossover from Seats. Does he get there? No.
Boy, great defense there.
Still not giving up. Putting the pressure on here. Just about third distance here at Daytona. Zinn maintains the lead into the International Horseshoe, coming down into the kink. Slow car to the right, into the grass just a bit. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts in the pit lane. Remember, Roberts involved in an early incident, sustained some damage, had the pit. This is technically his second stop, burned the fast repair early on, so he's off cycle with fuel, which could pay off later on. It really seems Brian Zinn excels out of the bus stop. Puts 2 to 3 car lengths on Dave Seats, but Seats is able to pick up that slipstream. Back down into the bus stop this time. Let's see if Zinn can get out of here fast again. Both drivers taking a very similar line. Seats gets a little bit better exit here.
He's going to get another chance or two.
Yep. Might have made the move a little too early. I almost would have given him a little bit of a push here, but gets to the outside again. Zinn maintaining protection to the bottom. At the stripe, what a finish this would be. Seats gets a lap led. Hard brake down into one, goes a little wide into the loose stuff, almost loops the car. That was close. You saw the back end of that Mercedes kick out just a bit, maintains it going straight, but now he's still putting the pressure on. Down into turn 4. I don't know.
And
Go ahead, Zach.
you know who's loving this. Terry Crouch, he's just licking his chops watching this battle.
Dave Seats gets on the power really well. Getting out of turn 7, back out of the NASCAR 1 and 2. Real impressive. He's going to have a draft here again. Let's see if he can close the gap down to the bus stop. Not close enough. No, he's going to pull out the pass, though. Nope. It's going to hurt his exit, I think. And it doesn't.
That's impressive. Boy, he's going to get another shot, even with that shallow entry to the bus stop. That's insane.
Well, he still, I mean, he backed his corner up because of it, but now he's to the bottom. He's got a slow car up top. They have to go 3 wide to get around it. Didn't want to give up the run. Once again, what a photo finish we'd have.
Third try is a charm. Let's see.
As long as they do that here in the last couple of minutes of this race, I'm all for it.
Yeah, yes, please.
Great battle here at the front of the field. Interestingly enough, though, it almost seems like they're starting to put distance on Terry Crouch. And that very well could be Terry just taking care of his stuff. He does not need to be aggressive here tonight. Kevin Blue in the stream chat says pulls up. He's still on the racetrack, but we're going to pull him up anyway. Let's see if we don't distract him too much. Kevin, it's Steven Zach in the HBR TV booth. I'm assuming you meant for us to pull you up even though you're still in this race. What's going on?
Hey, not much, man. Me and Chris were just down there in the green room talking to each other, and we were like, hey, I wish Steve would pull us up so we could chat.
I'll pull you up individually. We got work to do up here, Kevin. Come on.
Oh, Daniel Clark just spun out behind me.
Daniel Clark in the grass, not where you need to be.
Yeah, man, we're just puttering along here. I've just avoided a bunch of wrecks and made it where I'm at. I don't know. Did you catch that big wreck on turn 3 NASCAR whenever Sean Roberts was backwards?
Yeah, we caught it a little bit late. We went back and analyzed it, so we definitely saw what had happened there. A couple drivers getting involved. I think it was Dave Tamira came plowing in, trying to make a move to the bottom. It looked like Roberts was going to go up the racetrack, locked it down, and kind of stayed put. So Tamira drove straight into him.
Nice. Yeah, it looked like to me, because I was a little bit behind that, it just looked like a big NASCAR wreck there.
It
I had to remind
did.
everyone that we were driving GT3 cars.
Well, Kevin, how's the race going for you so far?
Smooth, man. I'm just, tinkering along here, just trying to stay clean and run consistent laps. I'm running, between low and mid 145s every lap, so I figure I can just stick with this and maybe pick up a few spots here and there, either in the pits or you know, on the track due to wrecks or anything. You know, maybe I'll give me a top 10. We'll see.
Well, you started out at the back, and you're already up 12 spots, so far so good. Only a third of the way into this thing. Just crossing the first 33-minute mark here, so just under an hour remains.
Yep, it's definitely a long race. We were just talking about that. It's, you know, this is a good track for it. I mean, you can just kind of drone away and hit your marks and run pretty consistent, and you just kind of got to see where you end up in the end. But I was just telling them, this is a great track for racing, man. I mean, you can pass on pretty much any turn.
It is cool for that, and it's a big racetrack at 3.5 miles, so kind of some room to get spread out. You had a pretty good sized field here tonight, but not too crowded. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's great, man. But, yeah, I just wanted to jump in here and check in with you guys, give you guys something to talk about.
Well, with that, we do appreciate you checking in, and if you want us to pull you back up later on, we will do so. Just give us a holler. We'll find it at some point.
All right, man. Just do it randomly.
Even better.
Anytime.
Middle of a turn, maybe.
Yeah.
Just surprise me.
Yeah, we'll click the button as soon as you get on the brakes into the bus stop.
Hey,
Yeah.
perfect, man.
All right, Kev, good luck the rest of the way, man.
All right, buddy. See ya.
It's Kevin Blue, driver of that number 54 BMW Lonestar Racing entry. Runs in the 13th position currently. Number started out in the back, didn't qualify. Alfie Charon still running in the 14th spot, up 7 spots. Having a good solid run for just coming out here for a one-off. And here come TLDR drivers once again, just finishing up their pit work. Kevin Burrows, Terry Crouch, Randall White. Check on Harley Bathurst running in the 19th spot. Not that we can see him with that camera shot. Harley rocking a Grid Engineering paint scheme on his Mercedes as well. Speaking of Grid Engineering, where did Brandon Cocker end up? Looks like he sits P5 right now. We'll check on him in just a moment. Bathurst running in the 19th spot, right where he started. Daniel Clark, we saw him go a little off-road there a lap or two ago. He maintains the 18th position, again, also where he qualified. Chris Goins up 1 spot in 21st with the Eric Dotson agency, agentdotson.com. The McLaren said he was just going to run until he crashed. Well, so far, 35.5 minutes in, no crash. Not that I'm aware of, at least. Moses Choi up at the top. Is a pass for position. Goins puts himself into the 20th spot. Doesn't quite have the Mercedes clear. It's going to have him now down in the bus stop.
The only McLaren in the field, isn't it, Steve?
Looks to be, yes. Brandon Cocker, we were just talking about an update out of him. Well, here he is. He's in the pits, or leaving the pits right now for his second stop of the day. Cocker slips back to the 12th spot, but again, pit stops to still happen for many of these drivers. Pretty much everybody ahead of Cocker with the exception of Kevin Burrows, Randall White, Terry Crouch. The TLDR SimSport drivers coming down all together at once just a lap or two ago. Cocker was the next to follow. It's very interesting, actually, if you think about it, Zach. We're 37 minutes in. Some drivers already on their second stop. We've got almost an hour left. Do we see 4 stops, or are they just planning this out so they finish with just a drop of fuel in it at the finish?
Boy, I don't know. It seems like a lot of pitting so far, and I'm thinking we're going to see the 4th.
Mercedes still 1 and 2 at the front of the field. Then it's the BMW of James Vance in P3. Teammate Andrew Locke just in behind him. Those two have yet to make their second stop of the day, though Brandon Cocker has. All three of these guys know each other. They race with each other quite a bit, or at least chit-chat quite a bit. As Mike Piazza a little loose at the other end of the horseshoe, he gets back on the racetrack. Sean Petchin in the Porsche up in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, Dave Seitz takes the lead here as Brian Zinn comes down pit lane. Now, the way these two have been running this evening, I would be willing to bet that Seitz is going to come down pit lane the next time by. Trying to stay on a similar pit stop strategy. James Vance comes down now, as does Andrew Locke. Almost seemed like Andrew couldn't find his pit box for a moment there. Robert Henry, Brandon Domain, both down pit lane as well. So second cycle of pit stops underway here from Daytona, right about the 40-minute mark. Brian Zinn finishing up his pit work. He's down and away, exiting pit lane. Let's check on Dave Seitz as he gets back up into NASCAR 1 and 2 to work his way down the backstretch into the bus stop. We expect to see him come down pit lane possibly this time. Now, Zach, you raced with some Limitless Motorsports guys, I think, over in the Numb Thumbs Racing League, correct?
I think so, yes.
Tim Pope and Anderson, I believe?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, they're fast, man. They're fast. They're definitely.
Dave Seitz
Yeah, they're
in the pits.
a very consistent group of drivers, man.
Seat's into the box from the race lead. Want to see where Brian Zinn cycles through. So ways back now. It's like 38.6 seconds back. It's just getting out of turn number 4. NASCAR 4, that is. So Terry Crouch right to the back bumper. Seat's leaving pit lane here, I think, as the leaders are approaching down into turn 1. It's going to be close. He better hustle here. He might beat him out. We'll see.
Oh, it'll be real close.
Oh, he's going to be real close down into the corner. No, he's got to give it up. 18.5 second pit stop for Dave Seitz. It was 17.5 for Brian Zinn. This might be a cold tire battle for David Seitz, though. Let's see how this goes. Side by side through the kink. Zinn with the race lead down into the West Horseshoe. I don't know for sure if Seitz took tires, but if he did, he's brilliantly driving that machine right now on a cold set of tires. Top 3, Brian Zinn, Dave Seitz, Terry Crouch. Then we've got Randall White, Kevin Burrows, the top 5. All 3 TLDR SimSport drivers within the top 5. The 2 interlopers, Brian Zinn, David Seitz. Oh, I thought he was going to get into him into the bus stop. Zinn got on the brakes just a hair sooner than Seitz. Seitz had to really stand on the brake pedal. I just don't know if Dave Seats has enough to really set up a pass on Brian Zinn. They are so equal.
I don't know. If it came down for the win at the end of the race, we might see a little contact.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know how much contact you're really going to get away with. You can't dump the guy because you're going to get a DQ or at least a point penalty out of it. Zinn definitely taking the defensive line in many of these corners.
The thing is, he takes the defensive line, but he still has such an exit that he stays out in front and stays on pace. Impressive.
I mean, it's really allowing Terry Crouch to close up. Look how good Crouch is on the brakes in that BMW. Closes the gap by a couple of car lengths. Does seem like the Mercedes does pull him out of the corner a little bit, but then he's got the advantage of the slipstream to kind of keep him in the fight. Great to see the top three this close together, though. Just about halfway here, 44 and a half minutes down, 45 and a half to go. Seats is right there. I almost wonder if he's just trying to force a mistake at this point. There's one little slip from Brian Zinn. I think it's going to open the door for Dave Seats. These guys are running so consistent between the two of them. A 43.77 for Brian Zinn. Seats was actually faster by about 6/100ths the last lap by. Top two unchanged. Brian Zinn still with the race lead. Dave Seats still all over the back of that Mercedes. Just inches off that rear diffuser. Maybe a little contact through the tri-oval. Swings it wide. Dave certainly being aggressive here just past halfway. Might feel like he's faster. If he can get by Brian Zinn, he might be able to drive away. I think you're right. I think Terry's just sitting there watching.
Yeah, he's in the catbird seat right now. Oh.
A little slide from Seats there, but again, you know Terry's got the pace. He can certainly attack right now and put the pressure on both of these Mercedes. He doesn't need to. Certainly close enough to. Slow car up top. Everybody gets by clean.
Yeah, it looks like the slow car kind of hurt Terry's exit a little bit, but he'll still do it.
We approach the 48-minute mark here from Daytona. We're going to jump out once again, go HBR TV side by side. You won't miss a minute of the action. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, not much has changed here at the front of the field. Brian Zinn still with the race lead. Dave Seats has now slipped about a half second off of that other Mercedes at the front of the field. Terry Crouch rides in third. I gotta wonder, is Seats burned up his stuff trying to get that lead, or is he just trying to cool the tires down to make another charge?
I think he's just cooling the tires down, minding his time. I think he's probably the fastest car here. I don't know. We'll see, though. I mean, catching somebody's one thing, passing's another.
Right now, given the lap times, it's a 43.65. That's Dave Seats' fastest of the day. Brian's in at a 1:43.76. Identical fast time for Terry Crouch. So all three of these drivers, at least on the surface, appear very evenly matched 52 minutes in. Yeah, like you were saying during the break, Zach, that pit stops once again are certainly going to come into play. May be the deciding factor, at least amongst these top two, maybe even all three. Could see a complete flip-flop. Terry Crouch could leapfrog both of these guys here in the waning moments of the race. We shall see. Randall White currently running in the fourth spot. teammate with Terry Crouch. Same with Kevin Burrows, another TLDR SimSport teammate running 5th. Canadian James Vance running in P6. Teammate Andrew Locke just in behind, probably by design. John Petchin up into the top 10, still having a solid night. Robert Henry, one of the one-off drivers for tonight. Hopefully expect to see some of these guys come back for the next season. He runs 9th. Having a good run, up 14 spots. Battle for the lead once again at the stripe. Seats has it, but can't quite clear Brian Zinn. Down into turn 1. Can he get on the brakes? So there's a little bit of contact. And Seats went by in a bad way. And I think that was the case there, Zach. I think he was trying to save some tire, cool him off a bit, make another charge.
Boy, it doesn't get much closer than that. Oh, no.
Zinn
there
goes
it is.
around. I was looking off at the timing screen. Was there contact that you saw, or did he just get the power down too soon and it came around?
I don't know. We're going to have to see from a different angle. It was certainly close.
Meanwhile, all the TLDR SimSport drivers, with the exception of Terry Crouch, hit pit lane. Andrew Locke goes with him. James Vance stays on the track. That's interesting. Seemed like they were all pitting together for a while, but now that has broken things up. Brian Zinn, after his spin, has slipped back to P3. David Seats now your race leader. Trying to get a look at this here from the blimp in just a moment. Exiting the first horseshoe. Okay, Brian Zinn, the red and white Mercedes, followed by Dave Seats in the other Mercedes. Seats goes way wide, a little bit later on the brakes. Again, like you had said, Zach, taking that defensive line, Zinn was usually able to get on the gas and get out. Oh, there was a little bit of contact.
That's just the part of the corner where the rear end of the car is so light to begin with. It's so hard to put the power down. But that's that wider entry in that corner, Steve. I mean, Seats could get to the gas so much quicker and so much smoother.
Yeah, definitely got underneath that rear diffuser just a bit. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Zach. Using the traditional line, going wide and then hitting your apex late versus the defensive line that Zinn was taking.
And, I mean, we've been racing for just under 56 minutes here. I mean, these guys are hitting their marks lap after lap, you know, getting back to the gas in the same spot mostly every turn. And we know Seats throughout the season hasn't done anything like that on purpose. So it's just, you know, just part of racing.
Now, as we approach here the final 35 minutes of this race, I know the frustration was probably starting to set in with Dave, but as evenly matched as those two were, like you were even saying, that you run your lap after lap, you hit your marks every lap, same spot every time, and if something varies ever so slightly in the guy that you're chasing, and all of a sudden he's not on the gas when he has been, and you're running as close as they have been all evening long, you do run the risk of making some contact. Just too close at that point to lift and get off the brake, or get on the brake to try and not hit him. It's just you're both trying to accelerate out of the corner. Contact was made in just a perfect situation. Brian Zinn goes around. Curious what this is going to change for Brian Zinn. Has he got a different plan as far as strategy is concerned? Just given how evenly matched himself and David Seats are, he's not going to be able to make up that ground on pace alone. He's got to try something. Maybe it's a fuel-only stop at some point. Maybe double stint the tires, which they are certainly capable of.
Yeah, he's going to have to try something. 11 seconds is quite a gap.
Interestingly enough, I'm not 100% sure why this is, but in our timing, it shows Dave Seats as the race leader, but of course, top of the screen center, it's displaying Brian Zinn as your race leader. See if that cycles back correctly here in the next lap or so. So even through that spin, Brian Zinn running in P2, just about 11 seconds back now. Last lap for Brian Zinn, 0.2 faster than Dave Seats. Interestingly enough, both drivers below the minute 44 second mark. Brian Zinn 1/100th of a second shy of his fastest lap of the race. I think they done made it mad.
Yeah, and some of these guys, like Zinn, they drive a lot faster when they're mad.
And I've seen even with Dave Seats, I think Dave realizes that, oh man, I better kind of run for my life here, because even he's running faster laps than he has been.
He's pulling a Brian Rose right now. He's driving scared.
Looks like Brian Zinn's coming to pit lane, though. So let's focus on this here. Let's see if he opts to take fuel only. Brian Zinn and James Vance both in the pit lane. He's taking tires.
Might be the last set for him. There goes Terry.
Very long stop for Brian Zinn. 22.6 seconds. But with 30 minutes and 25 seconds remaining, maybe this is his final stop of the night. Kevin Blue down pit lane. So Kevin Blue's going fuel only. Dave Seats now with a pretty comfortable lead over Terry Crouch. It's just under 40 seconds back to P2. Terry Crouch, though, has made his third pit stop of the day at lap 31. About 4 laps ago, David Seats still needs to make his final stop. Pit lane time typically with the tires, you're looking about 55 to 60 seconds total pit time.
Interesting.
So Dave Seats is going to have to pit. Terry Crouch is only 40 seconds back. I think Terry's got him snookered again.
Yeah, and I think Seats knows it. I mean, look at his last lap time. He's out there, no pressure around him at all, and he's running a 1:43.74.
Again, they are on light fuel, but still, he's cruising. But Terry ran a 43.98, not a whole lot different. We're talking a couple of tenths, not even.
That's full load. Guys are fast, man.
Keep an eye on the 14 of Dave Seats and see if he hits pit lane this time by. It's well within the window. Unless the mindset is just run it till it's dry.
Here he comes.
Yeah, he's coming down. Man, he got on the brakes way late. Hopefully got her woed down. Terry Crouch, 39.6 seconds back. Fuel only. All right, so there's a strategy for David Seats. Terry Crouch closing in. Terry Crouch just out of turn 4. It's going to be close again, I think. Dave Seats just exiting pit road. Here comes Terry Crouch through 1.
Oh boy.
Wow, he gets back out in front. On hot tires too, because Dave Seats did not change them, but man, Terry Crouch is going to be right there. This is going to be a fun battle for the next 27 minutes to watch. Dave Seats losing connection for just a moment. That's all he needs.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. Terry is just an animal on those brakes, isn't he?
It's very smooth. I just listened to him go through the gears under braking down into turn one. Very, it's kind of, I don't know, you can't even say sequential, but I mean, you get what I'm saying. It's just perfect timing of it. I'm real aggressive on the brakes, real aggressive on the downshift. I bang through the gears very quickly, trying to come to a slow. Terry Crouch, nice and smooth. Explains why he's so fast. Seats getting into some lap traffic here. See what this does to his battle with Terry. Real slow car up at the top. Don't know what that was all about. Best move there is just keep going. You want to go high, but don't get on the brakes. Those guys are slowed way down.
Yeah, it's almost better to get out of the way once you're already up on the bank, and that exit is just huge for these straightaways.
Trying to check on some other battles throughout the field. Seems that our battle for the top spot, the closest on the racetrack presently. Terry's turned up the whip just a bit. Again, it is still pretty early in the running. We only have about 23 and a half minutes remaining. That's still plenty of time for Terry Crouch to make a move for this top spot and the win, and ultimately a championship, which he may have locked up already at this point, given that he had well over 100 points of a lead coming into tonight. Just needed a solid finish out of this final round 13. Sean Roberts and Sean Petchin, the two Porsches battling for position. This is for P8. Roberts to the inside. Petchin back to the inside in the kink. Oh man, I thought they were going to make contact. See if Petchin can pick up a slipstream here down through NASCAR 1 and 2 in the backstretch. spot to be. Sean Roberts takes and now maintains the 8th position. Andrew Locke making his final stop of the night. Andrew comes in way late. Did you notice the pit boards for these two?
I was trying to see.
Tacos.
Oh, that's beautiful.
for Vance and Andrew Locke both. Their pit board says tacos. Thanks a lot, boys. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, right. I'd stop for tacos.
Andrew Locke in the pits quite a while, 30 seconds plus with no tires. I don't know if he got a speeding penalty. We're going to see here in just a moment. He's approaching 40 seconds. Might be a full minute in the box if that's what happened. If he got dinged for speeding on pit entry, I think it's a 40-second penalty he's got to deal with.
Yeah, at this point, it's got to be. That's awful.
Fortunately for Andrew Locke, that may do it. He may bow out of this one as he still sits in pit lane, a minute and 10 in. Go back out front here, the battle for the lead. Dave Seitz and Terry Crouch still 1 and 2. So let me ask your competitive mind here. If you're Terry Crouch, knowing you do not need to win this race to lock up this championship, and knowing that an aggressive battle with the Mercedes could cause a problem, what do you do in this situation? Do you push for the win, or do you just ride in second and lock up that title?
Man, that's tough, man. I think everybody's racer inside is saying, you know, go for it. But, I mean, you see him blinking. I mean, honestly, in this situation, I'd just ride behind him, stay close, let him make a mistake. If you get to the last lap, who knows, Steve? I don't know if there's an open door. It's awfully hard not to take it.
And I got to say, at this point in the race, with the exception of the contact when Brian's in, Dave Seitz has been pretty mistake-free here tonight.
Yeah, he's been bulletproof.
Curious to see how that plays out, though, later on. What kind of penalty, if any, that will result from that contact? Are they officials going to deem it avoidable contact? I mean, everything's technically avoidable, I guess, but it was ever so slight. Clearly wasn't intentional, but it certainly did result in Brian Zinn getting spun from the lead.
Yeah, you hate to see it like that, Steve, but I don't know. I mean, it seems like a racing incident, but we'll see. Pretty good run by Terry here, though.
Big time run. All up in the back bumper here at the Tri-Oval. Maybe a bit of a push.
We know Terry can make that move around the outside, but Terry's playing it smart here.
Well, we've seen Terry Crouch make that move on the outside, but I haven't seen much of anything with anybody being able to get around either driver, Dave Seitz, or even Brian Zinn in that form or fashion. You see Dave's plenty fast, but was not able to really make a complete and full pass on Brian Zinn on the racetrack. Maybe through some pit strategy, could have got it done. Of course, there was some contact in that first horseshoe that resulted in Brian getting spun. Brian running now 16 seconds in the rears in 5th place. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts makes his last stop of the day. Now Sean Petchin moves himself up into the 7th spot. Robert Henry running 8th, also in a Mercedes. Good to see a bit more of a mixture as far as the manufacturers are concerned. It's not really a BMW spec series like it has almost been in some instances this season.
I might have an issue for Sean Roberts. I see him on the track map awfully slow in turn 3, NASCAR 3.
Might not have got it full of fuel. He is down on the bottom. Oh, and he spins. Oh, he's got some right rear damage.
Just happened to look up at the track map and see the 17th position awfully slow. He might that bus stop might have bit him again.
It. We got the replay here.
Oh boy.
Too much rear brake. Spins it sideways.
Oh, he's going to get this pretty good here, Steve.
He didn't let off the brake, though. That was the same mistake he made the first time on exit. If he'd stayed his foot on the brake pedal, I don't think he would have made much of an impact, or as much of an impact.
Yeah, and that right rear is pointing somewhere over in the wrong direction by a lot.
We talk about it a lot in the Next Gen Cup Series. Broken toe link. Well, that's definitely what's going on here with this Porsche. Broken toe link, definitely on the right rear. It's dog tracking crazily down. This might be exit of 4. Yeah, coming down, trying to make pit lane here. Yeah, you can see the right rear. It's towed all the way in.
Yeah, and with a Porsche, too, all your weight's back there, too. That's like the hardest thing to drive.
Good job for Sean Roberts to get it back to pit lane without having to tow, but that's a tough one, and I think he's out of fast repair, so he might be done.
Yeah, yep.
Battle for the lead once again. Terry Crouch, as close as you can get.
Backs off.
I think he's trying to force a mistake. He wasn't trying to set him up for a pass, because as soon as he got close to the braking zone, you saw him let way off.
Yeah, and Terry was riding behind the front two there. He was watching seats and the hard time he had trying to set up the pass and finally get past. But he knows how hard it is.
Seats is no slouch. He's had some success here this season, so it's not a fluke that he's out front, but certainly Daytona, much to his liking as far as his driving style is concerned, as Dave Tamira goes off the track. He's going way off-road. Just cutting the course. It's fine.
Hopefully that Beamer's got X-Drive.
You and your import talk. Well, less than 15 minutes to go here, Zach. What do you think? Is Dave going to be able to take this thing all the way to the finish and win this race, or is Terry Crouch going to get him here late?
Man, anybody else but Terry? Man, I don't know. I mean, Terry's fast, man. He's capable of anything. But Dave Seats, man, he's been the fastest car all night. He's been super consistent, mistake-free. I'd find it incredible if he doesn't win this race.
Well, Terry Crouch has improved his best lap of the night, but it's still half a tenth shy of Dave Seats.
What do you think, Steve? You think Dave's going to hang on to this?
Yes, Terry Crouch in pit lane.
Well, that's not fair.
Very interesting. Now, here's the question. Because Dave Seats waited till lap 35 to pit. Is he good to go, or is he not? Now we got to pay close attention here. This has got to be fuel only for Terry Crouch.
Oh, definitely.
Just a splash and go, I would imagine, with just 13 minutes left.
13 minutes. Let's see, how many laps would that be?
Not a lot.
Boy, I don't know. I don't remember the difference in how many laps after Perry pit.
So it's fourth stop of the race. That's very interesting, because I know we talked about the 1 hour sprint races that we run, and they can get it done in 2 pit stops. We're not quite an hour and a half, and this is the fourth stop of the race for Terry Crouch. I don't know if they were worried about tire fall off or what. I can't imagine this is a mistake for Terry Crouch. It just doesn't seem like the norm for him.
No, I think these guys just want to be the first ones to pit. Get it done, short pit if you know, need be.
Now Dave Seats with no pressure out the back. He's got Brian Zinn running in P2. James Vance third, Terry Crouch fourth, Sean Petchin cracking the top 5. Sean's done some road racing. You can kind of tell by the line that he's taken around this place. He's Not afraid to put the car right up against the grass.
Yeah, he's looking smooth out there, and that's definitely not the easiest car to drive.
It really isn't. I like the Porsche. It's a blast to drive. It's fun. It's hard to drive. It sounds amazing. But it's honestly not my go-to most of the time just because I can't really get a great handle on it enough to be consistent.
Yeah, I'd probably never use it if it didn't sound so great. I just crank the speakers and try not to crash.
Right. So interestingly, Brian Zinn from P2 is in pit lane. Last lap for David Seitz, 1 minute, 43.75 seconds. So you know he's on light fuel. Question is how light.
Yeah, he's got to be coming down.
His last stop was at 35. That's only 10 laps. I mean, even fuel only, you're looking at 49 seconds. Terry Crouch is 34 seconds behind Dave Seitz right now. So if Dave has to pit at all, he's in trouble.
Big time. I mean, can you really save much gas in these things, Steve? You know them way better than I do.
Well, I mean, Daytona is one of the tougher places to do it just because you're on throttle so much. I think you're wide open for at least 65% of the lap. But yeah, here he comes. He's going to come right now. Yep, down pit lane. Well, that answers that. Yes, you can save fuel, though. You can do the lift and coast through the infield section, of course, lift and coast into the bus stop and down into turn one. Those are probably your best places to save, but you will sacrifice a lot of your lap time to do it. And I really don't think you're going to be able to save the time that he was really going to need. Let's see how long he's in the pits for and where he cycles back out under green flag conditions. Terry Crouch closing in. Terry just outside of turn 4. Dave Seitz dumps the clutch and goes. Oh, it's going to be close. Not as close as we thought. Dave Seitz gets out with the race lead. Puts 2.5 seconds on Terry Crouch. Again, did not take tires. In fact, 10.9 seconds. Fastest pit stop of the day out of anybody we've seen thus far, but likely because it's his final stop of the day. I think he waited the longest to do it. Needs the least amount of fuel on board to make it to that hour and 30-minute mark. Got less than 9 minutes remain here from Daytona.
When you get a chance, just take a little peek up at that best lap of the race.
Yeah, I see that. A minute 43.36 for Terry Crouch. He's going to have to do that for the next 8 minutes.
You can do it. Unfortunately, Terry, he's just outside of the slipstream here.
I think he's still close enough to pick up a little. It's not going to be as dramatic as you would expect, but I think he's got just enough. I think you're within 2.5 seconds. You can sniff a little bit of that draft.
We've got Andrew Locke in the green room. We could find out if what happened with that pit road penalty.
Yeah, let's pull him up and see what happened. Andrew Locke, it's Steve and Zach Millett in the HBR TV booth. You with us?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? We saw you come down to pit lane. Did you get popped for speeding and then throw in the towel? What happened?
No, just kind of getting a little late, and it was a little tough to. Well, I wouldn't say tough, nearly impossible to catch up to anybody. So I just kind of figured, throw it in. I'm not in contention, so, and it being the last race of the year, I wanted to come in and say hello to Zach because it's few and far between we get blessed with your presence, my friend.
Man, I know I don't get to see you very often anymore. We got to get in some more leagues together.
Yeah, no kidding. So you can whoop all our butts, right?
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. If I was here for that, I'd pretty much last.
I think Terry
I don't know
Crouch is
about
taking
that.
over for that.
Yeah, he was quick, man. I mean, I think my best lap was maybe a tenth or two off of him, but like where he really strides is is just like not even being in draft and being able to pull off 143s. It's wild, So I kind of gambled. I didn't really know it being an hour and a half race and the strategy with tires and all that stuff. So I kind of was the guinea pig for James, and I pitted a lap before he did and checked the tires and took them. And honestly, it wasn't worth it. So that's probably another reason why I threw in the towel a little bit there.
Well, either way, glad to have you here tonight. Certainly had a good field for this final race in Lonestar Racing's GT3 Series. Certainly new things to come here with different types of vehicles, different types of leagues, all road racing based, and looking forward to that here as the spring and summer gets rolling, even into the fall of 23.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin's got some good stuff coming up. It's funny, I was able to twist Brandon's arm to come into this race tonight, and he was like, holy crap, this is really good competitive racing. So I had mentioned those other leagues to him as well, so he was interested in those. So hopefully we can get some more people.
Certainly looking forward to it. Good to see Cocker coming out here and running some laps tonight too. That's always a plus.
Oh yeah, yep. So it was a strong field, and it's funny. I kind of suggested to Kevin, mid-race, I said, hey, you should throw a caution to bunch the field back up, get an exciting finish going again. He said, oh, I can't change it now. I was like, yeah, I know, but I thought I'd ask anyway. But yeah, because that would make it one heck of a finish, but it's all good. I understand.
Is what it is, but rolling in 5 minutes remaining here at Daytona. Dave Seats still with the race lead over Terry Crouch. 2.2 seconds the advantage for the Mercedes. Terry's throwing down some quick laps, but look at Dave Seats. 1:43.42, his fastest of the day. Terry Crouch just recently putting down his fastest at a 43.36. It's quick, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough to catch that Mercedes here with less than 5 minutes to go.
No, he's killing it, man. He's been strong all season too, so just some bad luck, but yeah, he's quick.
Watch the battle with him and Brian Zinn. Brian was quick early on. A little bit of contact between these two on the exit of the first horseshoe. Zinn went around. It didn't seem intentional, but be curious to see how the marshals handle that one post-race.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Andrew,
I'm going to let you boys.
Yeah, thanks for jumping up here,
Oh,
talking to us here, and look forward to seeing you in some of these other leagues here throughout the season.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Good to see you, Zach.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Talk to you.
It was Andrew Locke, driver of the number 23 BMW, out early here tonight. 4 minutes remain here from Daytona. Dave Seats still out in front, and the gap between himself and Terry Crouch really not changing a whole lot. Terry Crouch P2, Randall White in third. Again, tough break with Brian Zinn. Was so strong early on. So he's going to settle for a decent finish. Probably not the one that he wanted.
Yeah, it's a shame to see, man. He was fast. Still fast.
This is a battle for position, too. Kevin Burrows in the BMW just in behind. Though Zinn does have slightly fresher tires, about 3 or 4 laps. It's not as huge of a difference as far as tire life and the laps between them as you would expect to see on oval style racing as they do with road racing. These tires are very hard compounds by comparison. They're designed to run for quite some time before they really start to give up. In fact, even to the end of the full fuel run, you can still lay down some very quick laps just simply because the car is lighter. Never mind the tire condition, and in many cases the drivers can go a full another stint without changing them. Imagine the lap times these cars would put down if you popped on a set of Goodyears.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
And now with the next gen car, you could probably make them fit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Two minutes remain here from Daytona. David Seats still the race leader. Not likely to change unless a major mistake is made. Terry Crouch is starting to cut into that gap, but not by a whole lot. We're talking a few tenths. That could have been just a slip by Dave Seats. We don't know for sure. And then I guess you got to wonder, did Dave get it full? Got a minute and a half to go here. I'm sure he's going to try, and curious if this will end up being the final lap or not. Down the backstretch, I'd be willing to bet he'll see a white flag the next time by.
See if he slows down a little bit to try to get closer to that mark.
About 1 minute remaining here. I can't imagine they're not going to give him the white. We'll take a look. Dave Seats out of turn 4. Less than a minute on the clock. There it is. White flag waves. Final lap here from Daytona. Terry Crouch is close. Last lap for Terry at 43.68. Almost 3/4 of a second faster than David Seats. Terry Crouch closing. It's a second and a half here. He's cut in almost a full second in the last 2 laps. He's close enough for a draft. Don't think he's close enough to really do much with him, but one simple mistake from Dave Seats would change everything.
See a little lap traffic ahead of Dave too.
Gap now to 1.4. Good exit for Seats. Backs his entry up into 7. Good idea. Get back up on the banking. Hammer down. It's a better exit than Terry there as well. See the gap increasing, almost 1.5 through NASCAR 1 and 2. Opportunities becoming very limited here. I don't think Terry's going to be close enough to do anything with Dave Seats as long as he gets through the bus stop here okay. Smooth sailing from here on out. Was very careful through that set of corners. It's down to 1.25 seconds. That's going to do it though. Dave Seats just needs to make it through NASCAR at 3 and 4, keep the hammer down to the start-finish line, and he'll have a victory here in round 13 of the Lonestar Racing GT3 Series finale. At the start-finish line, checkered flag waves. Dave Seats, your race winner.
Good job, man. Well deserved there.
Terry Crouch is P2. Randall White will bring it home 3rd. Brian Zinn, Kevin Burrows the top 5.
Terry Crouch with the championship.
Terry Crouch definitely taking home a championship. And again, I got to imagine, and we'll talk to him here in a little bit, that he may have made the decision to not be as aggressive as to maintain a safe position to lock up that title. Again, he had a pretty big points lead coming into tonight, but no sense in throwing it away. Strong drive for Dave Seats. I'm a little concerned about how the marshals are going to handle the contact with him and Brian Zinn. I know it was minimal, but you turn the leader and you take over the lead after contact, and then you go on to win the race. Someone's likely to be upset about that.
Got a shout out to Kevin Burrows that last lap, 143.14.
Wow.
Moving.
Haley stayed with us for the whole race.
Haley, you're awesome.
Number 1 fan over here. Thanks for sticking around, Haley. Hope you don't have to be up too early tomorrow. Let's see. Is he going to be able to do a burnout? I don't know.
Should be awfully light in the back.
Yeah, but that traction control will kick right on.
Yeah.
He's trying. All right. He got it to break loose at least. Well, either way. We're going to jump out here and get our final break out of the way, have our top 3 finishers in the broadcast booth. After this, stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, Lonestar Racing GT3 Series season finale in the books. Dave Seats with the race win. Let's try and get a word here with our race winner, driver of the number 14 Mercedes, Dave Seats. It's Steven Zach in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Dave, congratulations, man. What a race. You bring it home here. A very fast Mercedes here. You had to battle with Brian Zinn for the majority of the first, maybe half of this race, but walk us through the pass, the contact in the horseshoe. It did not seem intentional, but what did it look like from your perspective? Walk us through what happened.
Definitely wasn't intentional, and again, I apologize to him. I apologized in the race. From my in-car, it looked like he checked up, like he had too much speed mid-corner, and I was already apexing and accelerating up, and it was a 0x, and it felt like I touched him. I didn't go back to look at it yet, but it was the slightest of touches right as he was accelerating, and it was enough to spin him. So definitely not intentional. I don't like to race that way. I mean, I was trying to race him hard and keep it clean, but he was defending really well. I just couldn't get enough of a run, but
well, we watched as you both of the drivers went into that corner. He took a very defensive line. You were trying to swing way wide a lot of the time, which is kind of the preferred way. So it backs up your entry a bit, but it gets you back to the throttle a lot sooner. That's kind of how we saw it as well. The contact was noticeable, but again, it was very light from what we could tell. Unfortunately, Zinn went around. We didn't get to watch you guys battle it out for the win here tonight. It would have been a fun one, but nevertheless, you take the checkered flag here to close out the season, man. Congratulations.
thank you, guys.
So moving on to next season, we've got a lot of things up in the air. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a sports car series, a GT3 series, a TCR series. What are you looking forward to most as the season has come to a close?
I haven't decided yet on the next series. I feel right at home in GT3 cars, but I do see a lot of so far the people that I've raced with in this series have gone the LMP2 route. So I don't know if I want to pick up a new car. I mean, I've raced it, but not a lot, and be able to race them guys each week, or if I want to maintain GT3 and see what we get, coming in for the next series and go from there. Definitely going to be in it, just don't know what car yet.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. Glad you're sticking around, Dave. Again, congratulations on the win here tonight. We're going to let you go, man, but who do you want to shout out to?
First, I want to thank you guys up in the booth. You guys do a hell of a broadcast. I enjoy watching this back in my bay while I'm at work the next day. Thanks to Kevin for putting this league on. It's been great GT racing. And then on the car, I've got my sponsors, Full Send Graphics and Mishmash Gaming. These guys help me each week. Stay in sim racing, have fun, and Full Send builds awesome paint for me. So.
All right, Dave. Well, again, congratulations on the win here tonight, and of course, congratulations on a great season. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Too. Dave Seats, your race winner here at Daytona to close out the season. But next, let's go to Terry Crouch, the runner-up in the race, the champion on the season. Let's get a word with the driver, the number 59 TLDR Sim Sport Machine, Terry Crouch. It's Steven Zach in the broadcast booth. Are you with us?
I am. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, man. Congratulations. Second place here at the track. Overall champion on the season, man. Walk us through your season. Tell us about your race and maybe some thoughts late. Did you decide you were going to kind of play it conservative and not throw this thing away, or did you just not have enough for Dave Seats?
Oh, man. I think my drop weeks were the EOLs right at the beginning when I figured out what it would be like coming through the field. So after that, I kind of settled into a little bit of a rhythm and learned not to throw a race away, the points, trying to win. But tonight, Dave was the man. I mean, that AMG could just get up and go off the corners. So for me to make a pass, I had to have almost perfect throttle discipline. So after a while, when the other guy spun, Zen, I think it was, at that point, I was like, Dave hasn't won one of these, and I don't want to wreck my season, going for something silly. So, I was just figuring I'll push him there, and if I could get an obvious pass, go for it. But I'm really happy he won one.
Well, it seems like your teammate Kevin Burrows stole the fastest lap of the race from you on the final lap of the race. He went a minute 43:14. Was this just trying to say, hey, you might win the championship, but I got that fast lap?
Yeah, I saw that after the race. I was like, you jerk, you stole it. I was trying to take at least one thing from Dave in this one race.
That's the thing with me and Zach when we actually end up in a road course race is I'm not usually going to win it, but I might be able to lay down a fast lap here or there, but that's kind of the same thing that you guys seem to be doing. But either way, Terry, man, congratulations. A great season. A good race to watch here tonight. Looking forward to seeing you here in races going forward throughout spring, summer, maybe even into the fall.
Yeah, thank you, man. Shout out to my boys, Kevin and Randall. That was so fun to pivot. We were stuck behind a couple cars and we were getting held up, and I'm like, why don't we just get off cycle and go about 4 laps early? You guys want to go? And we knew we'd take too much fuel at the end and probably be down a little, but so much stuff can happen from that first pit stop to the last one that we took a gamble. We all rolled the dice, and it worked out really well tonight. So shout out to my boys.
Certainly a job well done, even on the season for all your TLDR drivers. I think you guys all came in, I think, first, second, and third, or at least all within the top 5. We'll have to see how those points shake out when we're all said and done here. But job well done by yourself and all your teammates. Very cool to see.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely a 1-2-3 podium sweep for TLDR, so something we're really proud of.
Well, Terry, again, congratulations, man. We're going to let you go. Is there anyone else you want to shout out to before we do?
Well, if I don't shout out the wife, I'll get in serious trouble. And my daughter's watching this one. She just sent me congrats. So, boys at the Sim Pit, the rest of the guys at TLDR, sponsors at GSI, you and Zach, even though he hasn't come race Radicals, I guess I won't hate him too much.
I know, man. I feel horrible. I want to get in there and race you guys.
Yeah, you need to. It was me and some 5K guy that's just wicked fast. I'm having a good time with all these leagues. So come on, man.
I think he's scared, Terry.
Yeah, Zach ain't scared. Zach's not scared of nothing.
All right, Terry. Well, again, man, nice work. Congratulations. Thanks for talking to us. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care, boys.
It's Terry Crouch, your champion for the Lonestar Racing GT3 Series. Next, we're going to go to third place finisher in tonight's race. Talk to Randall White, another TLDR Sim Sport driver. Randall, it's Steve and Zach in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey, guys.
Congratulations, man. P3 here at Daytona. You guys had a great season, a good race as well. I think you swept the podium here for the championship standings, but talk about your race strategies coming in. What was the plan? Did you have one, or you just kind of follow Terry and let him make the calls? How does it work over there at TLDR Sim Sport?
Well, we thought we kind of qualified near each other, so if we could, group up, we would just kind of draft. But the way it played out, we thought we kind of pit a little early to get away from everyone and just draft against each other, and just try and put laps down and see if that would work out, and ends up it did. So it was kind of like on the fly, the way the race the first few laps were going, the way people were racing. It seemed like guys wanted to stick in the draft too much, at least where I was. So, we had to do something different.
Well, it paid off. You got there in the top three. You guys had that different pit stop strategy from just about everyone else in the field, but it worked out. All three of you TLDR Sim Sport guys end up in the top five. Top three as far as the championship goes, so job well done. I know we asked Terry what his plans are for the future here with Lonestar Racing. There's a lot going on here, spring, summer, fall. You going to be around for it?
I'll pick one of them. I'm not sure which one yet. I know there's a number of leagues starting up, so we'll see which one we join.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. Randall, who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I thank all the guys that run the league. Kevin, I know Terry helps out. Terry invited me to the league, so big thanks to him. Big congrats to him for winning the championship. And then all the drivers, it was a pretty much a clean season. Racing hard, racing clean. It was fun.
All right, Randall. Well, again, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
It's Randall White, your third place finisher. Let's take a look at our race results before we get too deep into things. Of course, Dave Seats, your race winner. Second place was Terry Crouch. Third place finisher Randall White. Brian Zinn was fourth. Kevin Burrows P5. James Vance was sixth. Sean Petchin comes into the Porsche, finishes P7. Robert Henry was eighth. Brandon Domain finishes P9. 10th goes to Chris Pyle. 11th place finisher Kevin Blue. Chris Goins was 12th, didn't crash. Moses Choi was 13th. Harley Bathurst 14th. Johnny Alford was P15. Lee O. Tucker P16. Mike Piazza was 17th. 18th position was Dave Tamira after a rough start to this race. Dave Coburn was 19th. Sean Roberts finishes 20th. Daniel Clark 21st. Brandon Waters 22nd. Andrew Locke 23rd. Alfie Charon was 24th. I don't know what happened with Alfie. He was 17 laps down. I don't know if he ended up having an issue at some point. We did not see an issue with Alfie, but nonetheless, 17 laps down. Brandon Cocker was 25th. Andy Sizemore 26th. And Alexis Mandrakia 27th. Credit did not take the green flag here tonight. That's going to wrap it up for us here at Daytona. I know we always look forward to these Monday night races. We're really excited to get into this season, get it started here with another road course league to cover. We do typically mostly ovals here at HBR TV, but with LSR and Kevin Blue, we've been able to cover a lot of these road races, and we're going to continue to do so throughout 2023. So stay tuned. More details to follow. We'll keep everybody posted as to when that will start kicking back off. We've got a lot of exciting things to come. So again, stay tuned. Check us out on the Facebook page. Check us out on the new website, which is hbrtv1.com. Details will be posted there on the regular. Screenshots, photo galleries, ability to watch the stream live, you name it. We'll keep everybody in touch. But Zach, give me your thoughts here before we get out of here on this season and then final race here at Daytona.
Man, just a huge shout out to Kevin Blue and all the guys that race in this league. I mean, this was a pleasure to call every Monday night, and I'd look forward to it. It's a shame it's over, but yeah, man, like you said, there's a lot of good stuff coming up. I can't wait to see all the different leagues and get old Steve Singer out there behind the wheel, and we're gonna have some fun, man. I'm pumped.
I'm probably going to be behind the mic more than anything. But yeah, we'll get something going.
Behind the mic and behind the wheel at the same time. That's the goal.
Oh God, I can't do that. I can't talk and drive. It might as well be alcohol. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for us here at Daytona. I'm Steve Singer for Zach Millett. Congratulations to Dave Seats winning tonight's race here at Daytona. And also congratulations to Terry Crouch and the TLDR SimSport crew for bringing home the overall championship here this season. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.